the same, you know, with masking. You don't want to go ahead and show your true everything self. Like, here's all about my life, you know, here's all my problems, this is all my baggage. And like, you don't want to go ahead and dump all your sob story life onto somebody you just met. Okay, so just want to go a little bit on, I wanted to elaborate a little more on a previous video. I know, I hated it too. I was, couldn't remember one word out of my notes. I was extremely tired, stressed out, had a lot going on that day, so I know I could have done so much better, but I was like, that's it, it's recorded, I do not want to do this again. There's one with the next video. But I did notice that I forgot. I missed a couple things that I wanted to add, and well, let's see what I can remember right now regarding masking. And one thing I didn't mention is that obviously there's different types of masking, and the ones that I focus more on are the ones that I'm gonna use in official non-personal matters. I wouldn't mask around people that I'm trying to be friends with. However, I would, well, there's different situations, you know. For example, to me the hardest thing is masking in a professional setting. Not that it's super hard anymore, but it's still, it's complications when I am facing a situation. Usually I'm very friendly, so that helps me. But then when I'm facing with an angry customer or a customer that is condescending, it's insulting me, or it's and in some way, not necessarily in a extremely grotesque way, but in some way this person is, you know, talking down to me or criticizing my work or something. Like, obviously I go on defense mode and I start, you know, saying the first thing that comes to my mind, arguing and trying to, you know, right away excuse whatever the hell is that he's criticizing, and obviously, you know, defending me and be like, no, but, you know, blah blah blah. And then I look back at the situation, I'm thinking, you know what, it wasn't even worth arguing with this person. I should have just been like, sure ma'am, okay, I'm so sorry about this, I guess I'm an idiot, you know, or whatever. But I'm really bad at coming up with words off the bat, at the top of my head. I'm not really bad with comebacks, and comebacks that are going to be especially smart about, you know, the selection of my words. So that's something that I personally struggle with a lot. So you see me here talking really fast sometimes, and that happens. And then sometimes I speak like kind of like overly slow when I have to really kind of think about what I'm gonna say, and then some other times I forget words a lot. So I'm glad that it's not happening right now, but it happens. So another thing is that a type of masking that I guess I would I didn't know how to, I wouldn't really put into practice when I was young, and I know a lot of people struggle with. It's knowing how to use the right facial expression. Something that a lot of us do notice, a lot of people on the spectrum, especially when I see shows like I'm probably gonna do like I kind of want to do a commentary on this show called Love on the Spectrum. I like it. I do have some pointers about that. I did like how they were following people around. It does give you like a window to all the different types of, you know, Aspies and stuff. What I notice is that, and I notice with people in my family, a lot of my friends, is that there's either that socially awkwardness that it's, you know, what to, you know, society it's portrayed as, you know, oh, socially awkward. It's because a lot of us, we either come too strong off the bat, like we meet somebody and off the bat it's like, hey, what's up, you know, yeah, you know, nice house you got going on, and put our feet on the table, or, you know, just get too comfortable off the bat, just kind of like, you know, take out our boogers or whatever, do just something that is just kind of like you would only do in front of somebody you feel very comfortable with. So realizing to To me, for the most part, I would know there were certain things I would just not dare to do because I will be self-conscious about certain things, but not about everything. So there were sometimes, many times where like I wasn't really conscious at the moment somebody will come or I'll meet somebody, and at the moment I wasn't really thinking about, oh, this person is here, I need to acknowledge this person is seeing me, is noticing me, so my demeanor, my behavior in this moment, it's gonna matter, and it's gonna give this person an impression. So it would just depend. So if I didn't put a lot of thought into it, I would just come across as like either rude or too strong or just not giving a fuck, and it was usually none of those. Mom would tell me that sometimes I would so I was very blunt, you know, a way of putting it, very blunt for the most part. I would just kind of be like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, oh, I don't know, you know, like that was kind of like my attitude. I wouldn't, you know, if somebody would tell me, since I wouldn't know how to, that I had to, my emotions were like kind of like not really in tune with others' emotions. Somebody might be very, very happy, and if I was like not feeling their excitement, like I'd be like, oh well, if I wouldn't even understand what they were happy about, I'd be a freaking, you know, joy killer, and I'd be like, well, why is that even exciting? Or, you know, I would say dumb comments like that. Mom told me that there was a time where sometimes his guests would come over to the house, and my dad's friends, or hey Francesca, you're not gonna say hi to me anymore. Like it gets to a point where like, even I think to this day, like if I'm when I was staying at my parents' house, we will have guests, and they will be like every morning like, good morning, and then like I would just completely disregard that and like not even say anything, especially if I'm like you know, I'll be like good morning, and I just kind of like, oh yeah, sure, whatever, or I'll be like, do I have to say good morning? Like I see you every day, you know, like I would say things like that, especially when I was young. And then, you know, Mom would be like, Francesca, you have to say, you know, good morning, even if you live with people, you know, that's the nice thing to say. And then like when you see it in hindsight, it's like, yeah, well, yeah, that's should be nice. But at that moment when I am caught off guard and I'm not really seeing myself from a third perspective, I'm only seeing sometimes like there's moments I'm very, very autistic, especially when I'm moody or something, and I'm just being very narrow about what I want. If I'm that moment I want coffee, or that moment I want to get ready on my things, I'm like this. I'm not seeing anything else, not thinking about anything else, not seeing that other people are seeing me. As a matter of fact, I don't want other people to see me. So my behavior will kind of like be according to, you know, me being like what? Being very blunt. And yeah, especially when I was little, like people be like, oh, you're just not gonna say hi to me, or da da da, or you don't even say hi to me anymore, or hi Francesca, and I'd be like, dude, I see you every day, like what are you talking about, you know? Like that was just my perspective, I guess, in my mind. And it's not that my parents never told me. I went to freaking private school all my life, grew up with nuns. Every freaking time a person will walk in the room, we will have to get up, and I will do it because that was just kind of like we were, you know, obligated to do that. I just did things, but I wouldn't understand them. I just wouldn't get the point of that. I thought it was extremely annoying. I thought that it was just one of those things that made no sense to me whatsoever, and that were just kind of like, these are rules just to like diminish us, to be like, you're the minor and we are the authority and you have to do this to show that you owe us respect no matter what, or you know, and that just kind of like the way I will see it. So I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna do this so I don't get in trouble, but it wouldn't feel natural to me. So me right there, like I was not, I wouldn't consider that masking, because I was being forced to do it, and everybody else was doing it, so it was just kind of like it never felt natural, and it's not like I felt like, oh my god, this is giving me anxiety or anything like that. I know some people mention, some of my friends have mentioned that, oh well, you know, I want to stop masking, I want to start like not masking a lot because it doesn't feel natural, and it just makes us very anxious, and it's oppressing and blah blah blah. It's like, well, but it depends on what kind of masking you want to do, because I am all for being yourself, accepting who you are, but also mold yourself in a way that, that will help you. This is the thing. It all depends on your goals. What are your goals? What is that you are trying to achieve? Like, some people, we all have, certain goals in life, I'm sure. Sometimes those goals require some amount of effort. Like, for example, dealing with other people, engaging with other people, collaborating with other people, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes maybe our goals is just having friends, having people to invite to our, kids' birthday parties and, stuff like that. For the most part, most of us like friends. Like, people think that autistic people and Aspergers people are all like lone wolves and they don't like, socializing, but that's not true. We all like socializing. We all like connecting, and I think that's such a human thing. Like, we all like connecting with other people. The difference here is that sometimes, we get selective. We are picky. Sometimes it's not necessarily that other people don't accept like us, but sometimes we also don't like how other people are, and that's okay. We're not gonna get along with everyone. I see my own animals like getting along with I see my cat getting along with some other cats and then not getting along with other cats, and that's cool. I don't force them to be friends with every cat they meet, and I don't force my dog to be friends with every dog he meets either. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's always gonna be somebody that you're gonna click. And I've seen so many people in so many Aspies, so many people in the spectrum that they find their other part that fits with them, but some other ones have a really, really hard time. So every situation is different. I kind of want to give advice to those people and tell them just do this or just do that, but I would have to study their cases specifically and be like, where is that they are lacking or missing and stuff. Based on my years of observing people and just seeing how just people are in general, I feel like there's some fundamental bottom rules that just can pretty much apply for all situations. I know that when everything in your life, or when like a lot of things in life are just not working out for you, or you're having trouble in certain areas, is that maybe you're not putting an effort. If you want things to work in your favor, you have to meet halfway. So I think that fundamental thing, I think it's gonna apply for everything you work. I know so many people that swear by it, that would swear, and if you're one of those people, then I'm sorry, but as long as you have that mentality, then things are not gonna change much for you. Things are gonna continue to be the same. So there's these sayings, right? There's these sayings that they are so true, and they have so much wisdom in them, and they pass the test of time. Like, no matter how old these sayings get, they never stop making so much sense. So one of them, I guess, is the one that says, nothing changes if nothing changes, or you cannot change the world, you can only change yourself, and then the world will change if you change. How's it go? I think if you change, then the reaction from others will change. I don't know, it goes something like that. But pretty much, if you change, the reaction from others will change. That you will create a different type of karma. So if you project yourself in a more positive way, if you always try to change certain aspects to more positive actions, there's no such thing as like necessarily right. Well, there is right and wrong, definitely. Right being that whatever actions you do are the right ones that are gonna help you get to your goals, and that you're not gonna run over somebody on the way. That's the right way. The wrong way is when it's usually the negative like road or route to your goals where you freaking, hurt people on the way. And it shouldn't be that way. We are supposed to be evolving creatures. We're supposed to be looking for a better for everything, not just all for us. Because at the end of the day, we want to live in a world with, we want to have family, we want to have friends, we want to have, we want to build a society. But then when it comes to, saving our asses, we think about ourselves first instead of like, we're thinking about our own convenience first. And that's sad, because sometimes you have to like, give in a little bit. If you were to land and what is that movie, right? That you land in the middle of like Antarctica or something. There's so much food left for everyone. But the right thing to do would be like, let's divide all this food and make sure that it's gonna last as long as possible so that we're all okay. Or the wrong way would be like, hey, fuck everybody else. I'm gonna eat all this food because I'm hungry and yeah, I come first. So, am I making sense? I like to over-explain things. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say is that I've been talking for 17 minutes? Okay. What I base most of my right or wrong decisions, it's like, what would Jesus do? Okay, those who are not believers, I'm not religious myself, but I do believe that Jesus Christ was the epitome of righteousness, of looking after others before yourself. So obviously most people are not going to be able to make it to that level of pureness, but he gives very simple bottom line teachings, tips, advice, which is, love thy neighbor as you love yourself. So don't go around, fucking people over or not caring about other people's feelings. What you say can be just as hurtful as what you do. So it's very important that if your goal is, it'd be great, right? It'd be great in an ideal world if we all just care about perfect beings and being super great and being super good people and just looking for world peace, if that was our goal. But that's hardly ever everybody's decision. And at the end of the day, we usually have a personal agenda. But make your personal agenda as positive and fulfilling as possible. If you're only looking to help yourself, at least don't hurt other people, right? I don't know if I'm making any sense right now, but pretty much if you have a goal in life, like having this job or just pretty much finding a significant other or having friends, then working on a type of masking that's not like a type of masking, but I would call it more like finding a middle ground between people. Okay, you can expect, that's why even if you think that being a neurodivergent it's a disability and it's a brain defect, if you have the capability of understanding what I'm saying, then you can make an effort. You can definitely make an effort. You should see how much hard-headed I used to be when I was young. I used to see things very, very narrow, and I used to have a very strong opinion about certain things, and then eventually I decided to warm into like maybe little changes. I started sometimes it's not good to boom all at once like this or don't like it. You sometimes have to want little by little build yourself into like change your mind little by little. That's what worked for me. Also taking advice. Many times people tell me, Francesca, is you can expect people to change. Only you can change. Only you can change your attitude, what you do, and the world around you will change. And that's what I did. Even though many situations seem very, very unfair and unjust, and the consequences were just horrendous, and I'm like, I don't think I deserve something to be this bad. To be this bad for what I did. I learned to be like, okay, well, the consequence for that was horrible. But even though I feel like more like the victim here, I need to find a way so this never happens to me again. So I will play the situation over and over in my head and think like, how could have I been better? What did I do wrong? And I try to, little by little, try to imagine, try to put myself in the other person's shoes. I mean, that seems like a lot of work, right? You don't have to do all that. I would recommend trying it. To me, watching movies, watching soap opera, seeing other, creating character to really help me to kind of like understand, what would this person do? What will that person do? Definitely, if I wanted to write a character of me and put myself, make like a story, you are the architect of your life. And you can say, if you think, you are the main character in your story. What would you like your main character? Is your main character a villain? Or is your main character an antagonist? Or a protagonist? So I prefer to be, I'm usually an antagonist, but I prefer to be a protagonist. I prefer to be the good person in the story. So I have to think about what would the good person in the story would do? What would it do in this situation? What would it be the best solution? So when I'm in a similar situation again, I try to be like, okay, I remember this, how it goes down. And now I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let my feelings get the best of it. So, it's not going to happen from one moment to the next. I have to do a lot of exercise. I have to do a lot of mental thinking. Obviously, we all go through depressing times, stressful times, and that's where I did most of my thinking. That's where I would be like, okay, how would it have been? Sometimes like there was no way she could have gotten any better. Like I didn't do anything wrong. But then I play it over and over again and be like, maybe I could have done this. Maybe I could have done that. Maybe I could have said that. But then like, well, that really didn't. That wouldn't have been natural. That wouldn't have felt natural to me. Like that's not how I am. That's not something I would say. So anything that I would possibly say would have still gotten me into trouble. So being me got me into trouble many times. But then people change. I changed a lot. I started with baby steps. I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just gonna not say that, or like I will do tiny little tweaks on on the way I would portray myself, on the things that I would say, on my reactions. I will start doing little tweaks, and then all of a sudden I changed a lot. Like trust me, it's incredible. I will be happy to talk about the specific stories if you want me to, but trust me, it's not that being like the neurotypicals is what you must do. I know a lot of neurodivergents that are amazing people, have so much inner peace. They are loved by everyone and they love everyone. And it's all about saying, who is your idol? Who would you like to be like? Who would you like to be like your mentor? And that should be your focus. Being like the neurotypical shouldn't be your focus. I am still very much myself. I am still very much not liked by a lot of people. I still have that, explosive, tendencies here and there. But I know how to control them much more now. I'm a lot more chill now than I used to. And yeah, I have learned and grown so much mentally. Like I have expanded my mind. Us autistics, we learn things differently. So we develop at a different rate, and also a lot of factors have to do with how much we are willing to learn. I still know a lot of family members of mine that are so smart. They were completely technically normal kids, everything good, everything great. But then you hit teenage, you hit puberty, you hit the teenager years, and that's where things can start getting complicated. That's where social skills really get required, and a lot of people have trouble with that. Yeah, it's hard that society is not as accepting. It would have been a lot easier for me if society would have not been so mean to me. So just be like, dude, I made a mistake. God, like, put me on the freaking fire and burn me alive just for saying one bad thing. It gets ridiculous, and society definitely needs to change. They need to know about what we really feel on the inside, but we need to put our part too. We need to be willing to be more open, to be like, hey, we're not perfect, you're not perfect, how about we meet each other halfway? Tell me, what can I do to fit in a little more, to not just fit in, but So the communication, so there's not a barrier in communication and understanding between the two types of brains. And you know, I have a lot of friends that are neurotypicals, and there's great people, understanding people that are neurotypicals, and there are great people that are, you know, autistic too. But then there's autistics who are not that great of people. They can be very condescending. They can be very stubborn. They can be very, depending on the position where they are, they can be very hurtful. I know a lot of people had parents who they suspect, you know, were neurodivergents, and they were very harsh parents. So it is important to know about this and be willing to, changes are good. Positive changes are good. Growth is good. So I guess my point here, this was supposed to be a 5-minute video. Thank you. I don't think I've been talking for 30 minutes. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. But okay, so my point here is you can be yourself. You can be your 100% autistic self. I still grab my ears in public. I still stim in public. I don't care. I still do my humming. I don't care because I know it doesn't bother anyone. And when it does, when it's like when I'm in the middle of, like, I don't know, of a silent meeting or something like that, then I try to control it because of respect of others. I try to be like, okay, I'm not gonna steam right now, it's not the time. But for the most part, I don't feel ashamed of who I am. I know that I'm peculiar. I have my peculiarities and I am a very unique individual. You'd be surprised how many people really like and really appreciate uniqueness and genuine people, pretty much. Yeah, you just have to be confident about who you are. Embrace the things that you like about yourself, and maybe, you know, just change the things that you don't like about yourself. That's what I do. I work on myself every day. I have my tattoo that says, "A better me awakes every day." And I have this tattoo to remind me that every day I can be better. Today I was good, but tomorrow I can be so much better. And today I'm going to try even harder, and tomorrow even harder. So there's always things you can learn. There's always things you can, you know, better yourself, and you know, don't worry about what happened yesterday. Learn from your mistakes, grow from them. What else? Yeah, the timer's up. Yeah, be confident about who you are and embrace the things that you like about yourself. And don't beat yourself up if, you know, you screwed up here and there. We all do. But like I said, learn from them. Try to see where you can improve. That's all you can do for masking, other than certain situations where it's hard. Oh, okay. So I do know that I seen some of my family members and people on the spectrum that they can come across too strong off the bat. They meet somebody and they want to be themselves, or they feel so nervous about being themselves they act super like they don't share enough. They don't know, they're not comfortable about saying anything at all, so they don't say much. They're super quiet, or their demeanor is like super uncomfortable. And like people, like even your position, the faces you make, people are gonna read everything about you. And yes, people are super freaking critical. So no matter what you do or say, people are going to criticize you. So the best thing you can do is feel comfortable, be yourself, be the friendliest version of yourself. Obviously, like they use the example, you wouldn't show up naked, you know, naked to a public place. So the same kind of goes with masking. We wear clothes to hide certain parts of ourselves that people don't need to see. The same, you know, with masking. You don't want to go ahead and show your true everything self. Like, here's all about my life, you know, here's all my problems, this, what happened to me, and this is that, and this is all my baggage, and, you know, this is all the time that I was, you know, hospitalized. And like, you don't want to go ahead and dump all your story life onto somebody you just met. You got to take it easy, because they might not, you know, you think you're showing one part, an honest part of you, and people are probably not going to be able to understand why or how. So in order for them to understand one single event of your life, they're going to need to know the history of that. So take it easy. Don't expect people to just boom, take it all in. Take it easy, little by little. You want to always try to show people the best side of you off the bat, because the best side of you is still you. You don't want to leave that at the end, because people don't wait that long. Just like any movie, you know, first 5 minutes of a movie or first 5 minutes of a video, I probably already made this video boring enough, so probably you guys are not even gonna want to finish watching this. But the first 5 minutes of the video, the most interesting part is we're gonna engage people to be like, oh, this is interesting, I want to know more. The more they like you, the more they get attached to you, then the not so great parts of you are not gonna matter as much. So you do want to leave that to the end. And obviously, like I said, still work on the negative side, so you don't think that just because somebody loves you that it's okay to be an asshole, or it's okay to, you know, snap and start beating somebody every time you get mad. Like, you know, you do want to work on those things that hurt others and embrace the good parts of you. And I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, I'm gonna stop talking now. Bye.